How citizenship was decided by makers of Indian Constitution. Archaeological Survey of India will delist some lost monuments, what's happening and why. And why Pakistan is seriously thinking to resume its trade with India. Hello everyone, I am Manas Srivastava and I'm here with the 3 must-reads from the Indian Express today. Now, 2 things. When I say 3 must-reads, I mean मेरे हिसाब से जो सबसे important articles हैं आज के अखबार से या online articles for your any competitive examination from prelims, from current affairs, from static portion or descriptive. Secondly, आज तो न्यूज़पेपर आया नहीं है मेजर शहरों में, तो मैं यहाँ क्या बातें करूंगा. So majorly we are going to talk about the articles from the online on the website of the Indian Express क्योंकि न्यूज़ तो खत्म होती नहीं है, current affairs keeps happening and वेबसाइट जो है वो चलती रहती है. So the indianexpress.com के through we will pick up some 3 must reads and that's an opportunity for me to talk about these online articles. My first pick today comes from the research section of the Indian Express. Now when you go to the research section of Indian Express, there's a wonderful research piece article written by Meera Patel. तो मीरा पटेल लिखती हैं कि how citizenship was decided by makers of Indian Constitution. एक बहुत ही बेहतरीन आर्टिकल है और आपको काफी इंफॉर्मेशन देता है around this buzzword citizenship. Now, as you all know that because of CAA and other reasons, citizenship word has been in lot of news. बहुत news में रहा है. But when I say connecting the dots, okay, तो ये polity governance related news है, but जब हम इसको हिस्ट्री से रिलेट करते हैं वहां पे कनेक्टिंग द डॉट्स होता है. कई बार क्वेश्चंस डायरेक्टली आपसे पॉलिटी से नहीं पूछे जाएंगे या पॉलिटी के करंट अफेयर से नहीं पूछे जाएंगे, बट इट मे take you to other aspects of that particular topic. तो यहाँ पे हम history की बात कर रहे हैं and let me just take you to Meera Patel's article. Now, Meera Patel in her research article, begins by taking us to the drafting committee of Indian Constitution where this topic of citizenship was discussed in large extent, in a great extent, where Nehru said that, इतनी बातें तो citizenship पे किसी भी constitution में नहीं हुई है and for Ambedkar it was a kind of a headache. Okay, this whole drafting on the issue of the citizenship topic. Now, Meera in her article, in her research article, divides this journey of citizenship in India into 3 parts. So pre-colonial, colonial, and then she talks about the post-independence period. Now, in the pre-colonial period, there is, citizenship as a modern idea wasn't understood that way as we understand it now. So you can skip that part. But when you come to the colonial period, the colonial period is divided into 2 parts. एक तो company rule है जो कि 1858 तक है, 1757 से 1858, और दूसरा है the crown phase जो 1858 के बाद है. तो कंपनी फेज में there is no official citizenship law but act था. There was some act which granted rights to British subjects, but there was ambiguity, confusion around the who is a subject and then the status with respect to the Indian natives or the status of native Indians. इन सारे issues पे काफी ambiguity और confusion है. But when we come to the crown phase, यानी 1858 के बाद, you would see that the British Nationality and Status of Aliens Act 1914, ये अंडरलाइन कर लीजिए, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ये फर्स्ट सिटीजनशिप लॉ है ब्रिटिश एरा में, ठीक है, जो कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. बट अगेन देयर आर सर्टेन प्रॉब्लम्स हियर. फर्स्ट, ये पर्टिकुलर जो आपका जो लॉ है वो फर्स्ट सिटीजन और सेकंड सिटीजन क्लास में डिवाइड करता है सिटीजनशिप को. ऐसा वो आर्टिकल में ऐसा बताया गया है कि इट काइंड्स ऑफ डिवाइड दैट वे. और यहाँ पे दोज ऑफ इंडियन डिसेंट या पीपल हु आर बोर्न इन द कॉलोनीज, इनके लिए ये सेकेंड क्लास सिटीजनशिप की तरह है. नाउ दिस सेकेंड क्लास ऑफ सिटीजनशिप जो दिखता है इस 1914 एक्ट के द्वारा, that particular aspect is going to be addressed in the drafting committee or was addressed in the drafting committee after independence. And there are certain lines which become very important. I'll just read it. Although the term citizenship is not explicitly defined in the Constitution, but Article 5 to 11, important articles, you should underline it, outline the framework for citizenship at the time of Constitution's commencement. These provisions delineate the methods of acquiring citizenship, such as birth, domicile, and descent, as well as circumstances that disqualify individuals from obtaining Indian citizenship. बस यहाँ से हिस्ट्री से आप पॉलिटी की तरफ जाते हैं, आप कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की तरफ जाते हैं और आप नए चेंजेस देखते हैं. तो थोड़ा सा हिस्ट्री आपको पता होना चाहिए whenever you're talking about even concepts related to polity and law and governance. Now I really want to look into some very important questions here जो आपको इस particular article में मिलेंगे, जैसे कि who was P.S. Deshmukh. So you talk about B.R. Ambedkar, you talk about Nehru, you talk about Vallabhbhai Patel when you talk about Constitution Assembly debate, but P.S. Deshmukh ka, his stand on citizenship becomes very important with respect to Ambedkar especially. तो वो आपको पढ़ना चाहिए, जानना चाहिए. And then, of course, what happened in the Constitution Assembly debate with respect to citizenship, what happened after partition, and then most recent developments in the present year or the year, things which has happened in the previous years. This one article will tell you all, and this is what I mean by when I say connecting the dots from polity to history. Now, from history to again history or maybe culture, I'm talking about the second pick for today, and my second pick of today comes from the explained section. And जब आप online indianexpress.com के explained section में जाएंगे तो दिव्या ए का article है Archaeological Survey of India, that is ASI, will delist some lost monuments, what's happening and why. Okay, तो पहले तो ये समझ लेते हैं कि ये न्यूज़ है क्या, okay, और उसके then we will understand कि क्या पढ़ना चाहिए हमें. So the ASI has decided to delist 18 centrally protected monuments because it has assessed that they do not have national importance. Okay, these 18 monuments are part of an earlier list of monuments that the ASI has said were untraceable. Untraceable is in quotes, that means it's very important. So delisting and untraceable are two words. So first you should understand what is delisting of monuments mean. But before that, what is ASI? So ASI, it comes under Ministry of Culture, and this paragraph becomes important. It says that ASI, which works under the Union Ministry of Culture, is responsible for protecting and maintaining certain specific monuments and archaeological sites that have been declared to be of national importance under the relevant provisions of, and this act becomes important, the Ancient Monuments Preservation Act 1904 and the Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958, which is known as MSR Act or AMASSR Act. Okay, so MSR Act we will call it. Now, what does delisting mean? Let's come to this. Delisting of a monument effectively means it will no longer be conserved, protected and maintained by the ASI. Under the MSR Act, any kind of construction related activity is not allowed around a protected site. Once the monument is delisted, activities related to construction and urbanization in the area can be carried out in a regular manner. तो आप ये समझ लीजिए कि जब मॉन्यूमेंट लिस्ट होता है तो उसके अराउंड कुछ कंस्ट्रक्शन या दीज एक्टिविटीज कैन नॉट बी डन, बट जब डीलिस्ट करेंगे तो वो आप एक्टिविटीज, नॉर्मल एक्टिविटीज, अर्बनाइजेशन से रिलेटेड कंस्ट्रक्शन हो सकता है, ये सारी चीजें हैं. Now, why is it important? That is more question, because see, delisting, listing तो होती रहती होगी, but then why is it important and why am I picking it up as the second must read? Is because this is the first such large scale delisting in several decades. इतनी ज़्यादा delisting पिछले कई सालों में हुई ही नहीं है. Therefore, it becomes very important. इसलिए आपको delisting का मतलब समझना चाहिए, आपको ASI के बारे में जानना चाहिए. You might not look into so many monuments which are being delisted, okay, but then MSR Act, जो AMASR Act है वो important हो जाता है. So just a few lines on AMSR Act. The AMASR Act or MSR Act protects monuments and sites that are more than 100 years old, including temples, cemeteries, inscriptions, tombs, forts, palaces, stepwells, rock-cut caves, and even objects like cannons and these pillars or coarse minars that may be of historical significance. So this is what MSR is doing. And now, ये तो फैक्चुअल चीजें हो गई जो आपको प्रीलिम्स में करंट अफेयर्स बेस्ड आपको फैक्चुअल इंफॉर्मेशन आनी चाहिए. But the point to ponder here, I mean, when you read this article, you should also read it from the perspective that how many historical monuments have been lost. Okay, so that because this article talks about it, untraceable. So how many monuments have been lost, and was 2022 the first time that the disappearance of the monuments was noticed? So ये दो प्रश्न हैं जो मैं आपको दे रहा हूं. ये दो प्रश्नों के उत्तर आपको the answers you will get in the article. Okay, now let's come to the third must read from the indianexpress.com today, and I'm talking about why Pakistan is seriously thinking to resume trade with India. ओके ऐसा क्या हुआ. बट ऐसा क्या हुआ होने से पहले जो जानकारी आपको होनी चाहिए वो ये है कि पाकिस्तान सस्पेंडेड बायलेटरल ट्रेड विद इंडिया इन अगस्त 9 to 2019 following the Indian government's abrogation of Article 370 of the Indian Constitution. तो अराउंड आर्टिकल 370 जो चीजें हुई उसके तहत पाकिस्तान सस्पेंडेड बायलेटरल ट्रेड. Now, जब आप ये पूरा आर्टिकल पढ़ेंगे there will be a lot of information you will get, but जो सबसे important aspect मुझे लगता है that you should know is actually about the most favored nation. Please note it down, understand it, and as these lines says that India withdrew Pakistan's MFN or most favored nation status within 24 hours of the Pulwama terrorist attack. Okay, now this part of the World Trade Organization's General Agreement on Tariff and Trades, the GATT. Remember, GATT is related to WTO. 1994. The idea here is that all member countries of the WTO should accord MFN status to all other member countries. This will ensure free and open trade and that all members treat each other equally as trade partners. Okay, तो ये जो पूरी कहानी है, of course there have been a lot of developments between India and Pakistan in relationships. So international relations के perspective से important है. But when you talk about this economic bilateral trade, वहाँ पे this term MFN was too much in news in previous years also and even now. तो उसके बारे में थोड़ी जानकारी होनी चाहिए. Plus, an additional question which I want you to search when you read this article, that what was the composition of India-Pakistan trade and what is it now? So you have to, understand that also. Do not go in lot of figures, lot of facts, but you should know, the general idea behind it. That's all from me today. I'll come tomorrow again with my 3 must reads. You can also write to me at manas.srivastava@indianexpress.com. So think smart, work hard, conquer your goal.